Welcome to the Better Together Here podcast with your hosts Devin
and Ashley,
helping you make the most of your time in New York City. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Better Together Here podcast. My name is Devin.
And my name is Ashley.
And in today's episode, we are giving you an ode to Midtown. Midtown is often the butt of many jokes when you are referencing Manhattan and New York City, and we are going to tell you why those jokes are wrong, although they have some truth to them.
Balance.
So let's get right into it. There are lots of jokes about Midtown and about how there's no good food there and it's only a tourist trap, and they're wrong.
Personally, I love Midtown. Midtown is where we live. I will say we've only ever lived in Midtown, but after living in Midtown, it's really hard to imagine living anywhere else because Midtown is quite literally where everything is happening. Most of the things that you want to do when you're in New York City are in Midtown, so already living here is very convenient.
Of course, that does have some drawbacks of it is often quite crowded, but we're going to focus in specifically on what we're going to call Upper Midtown or Central Park South. We're talking about from 50th Street to the Park, which is basically 60th Street, and we're going roughly from 8th Avenue to 5th Avenue, that just literal square chunk that's right below Central Park. What we love about Upper Midtown, again, this is the area that we live in, but you are far enough outside of like the true Times Square and theater district stuff that it's outside of that craziness and crowds, but you're close to Central Park. There are actually some amazing restaurants, bars, coffee shops, places to shop, things to do. We're going to cover our top 4 for each of those categories because we have lived in Upper Midtown for about 4 years now. All right. First category, top 4 things to do in Upper Midtown. We'll start at number 4, Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall is an iconic venue that has been around for decades and decades. It is a beautiful building as well. The exterior is worth walking. Even if you don't go in and go to a show, it is worth walking by Carnegie Hall just to see the exterior. It has been on many shows and movies, and
Carnegie Hall was built in 1891.
1891. So it is a piece.
Over 100 years. Over 125 years.
A piece of history.
Yeah.
There are multiple areas within Carnegie Hall that have events. They are more along the lines of symphonies and pianists and individual vocal artists, and not like someone like Kendrick Lamar. Although Kendrick Lamar, he could probably play Carnegie Hall.
He could absolutely play Carnegie Hall.
One day we'll call him and tell him that he should. Unfortunately, right now, as we're recording this, February of 2025, Carnegie Hall does have scaffolding around it. And it's funny because it's scaffolding that they've made to
look
mimic,
like the outside of Carnegie Hall.
Which is okay, but
scaffolding sucks. That scaffolding has been there for almost as long as we've lived here, which is really dumb.
But check out Carnegie Hall. Okay, number 3 on top 4 things to do in Upper Midtown, Radio City. Radio City, again, another iconic venue. We have seen multiple shows there. We have seen Giveon, who's an R&B artist. We have seen the comedian Jim Gaffigan. We have seen the Rockettes. Radio City is one of those venues where you hear about it, you see it on shows, you see it in movies, you know the name, and when you walk in, it lives up to the hype, and it is just this beautiful building. So spacious, so much seating. The acoustics are perfect. I mean, you can't beat Radio City Music Hall.
One thing that's wild about Radio City is you have absolutely no idea how huge that venue is from the outside. It has a huge sign outside that says Radio City, pretty iconic, very beautiful. But when you step inside, you truly, it's an absolutely massive venue. And I will say, there's no bad seat in the house. We've sat in every single tier. We've sat down in the orchestra. There's not a bad seat in that house. And like Devin said, the acoustics in that building are amazing. Great spot to go to a concert, to see your favorite band, to go see the Rockettes if you're here around the holidays. Highly recommend Radio City as a music venue.
Number 2 on the list, the Museum of Modern Art, or the MoMA, as it is called. We have talked about this before. We've done a whole episode about the best places to eat near the MoMA. We love the MoMA. We go pretty frequently. It is a multi-floor, massive museum right in the heart of Upper Midtown. It's on 53rd Street. It's modern art. So there might be some pieces that you just don't get and you don't think are that exciting or beautiful or whatever, but it is a very unique museum, and they have a lot of different exhibitions that rotate through and change from time to time. So even if you've been to the MoMA before, you can come back again and you'll see something different.
I think similarly to the Met, I think the MoMA really has something for everybody. Like Devin mentioned, it is modern art, so there is more modern art than there are other types of art, but maybe I'm going to offend some real art nerds by saying this, but if you don't think that modern art is your thing, you can always walk around and play the game that Devin and I like to play called Art or Fart, which fart is essentially the art that you think that you could make or your 3-year-old nephew could make, or you just don't get it. And sometimes you don't have to get all the art, and I think that that's fine.
It's a great game to play. You'll never unhear it. Now that you've heard it from us, you'll never unhear it, and it's a great game to play. All right, and that leads us to number 1 on our list of the top 4 things to do in Upper Midtown, Central Park. We have done multiple episodes about Central Park. We've covered things to do. We have covered secret spots. We have an article on our website about places to have a picnic. We have so much content about Central Park. It is arguably our favorite part about New York City. Central Park is amazing. It is a massive, massive park. It is thousands of acres. There are forests. There are lakes. There are statues. I mean, it is all that you think it might be, and then some.
Central Park is, like Devin said, one of our favorite spots in all of New York City. We happen to live near Central Park, and we take our dog every single morning to Central Park. Central Park has off-leash hours, so if you're a fan of dogs and want to see a wide variety of dog breeds, I will say I've seen more types of dogs just walking around Central Park than I have living anywhere else. So great variety of dogs. If you go before 9 a.m., you can see all the dogs running around off-leash, which is really cool. Great spot to go have a picnic. Great spot to bring a Frisbee, walk around. Incredible variety of things to do in Central Park.
The only things to skip in Central Park are the horse-drawn carriage rides and the pedicab tours. Just don't do them. We've covered this in other episodes. Instead, rent a city bike, walk. There are electric scooter rentals. There are plenty of other ways to get around Central Park. And there's a free Central Park audio guide. Again, we've done an episode about this, so you don't need a tour guide. You can get it all on your own. All right. Next category we're going to cover is the top 4 restaurants in Upper Midtown. But before that, we're going to do this episode's New York Know-How. All right, this one again is from New York City Basic Tips and Etiquette by Nathan W. Pyle. We've talked about it before. We'll link it in the show notes. Great coffee table book about New York City. Phenomenal artwork and illustrations as well. Okay, so this one is New York City Basic Tips and Etiquette number 80. It is a man holding the door open. You can see that it is cold. He's bundled up. There's snow. His thought bubble says, LOL, I'm so indecisive. And the tip is close the door quickly or everyone in the restaurant will hate you. A lot of the restaurants do have the double door feature so that you get less of a draft coming in and out. But restaurants in New York City are often small. And when you open the door, the front third of that restaurant is going to feel the cold air coming in. So close the door quickly behind you. If you have a big group, get everybody in, close the door behind you. If you are waiting to be sat, try and move in so that people aren't standing with the door open. Just don't leave the door open. It's freezing.
There's nothing worse than enjoying like your fresh hot food that's just come from the kitchen and then getting absolutely blasted by 15-degree air from the outside because someone's like holding the door open for way too long. You're going to piss everyone off.
So that's this episode's New York Know-How. Close the door quickly. Our 4 favorite restaurants in Upper Midtown. We'll go starting with number 1, Sugarfish. Sugarfish is an omakase-style sushi place. If you're not familiar with what that means there is a set menu that you order from. They bring out each fish, each piece of sushi or sashimi or nigiri individually on its own, and it's all kind of preset by the sushi chef. It's not like you're ordering a Philadelphia roll and a dragon roll. They do have individual roll options, but get the omakase. And the best thing about Sugarfish is that it is affordable omakase. Most omakase options, you're spending at least $70, I feel like is kind of standard or more.
I would say typical omakase that I've seen is like at least $100 a person.
And Sugarfish has an option, I believe, as cheap as $39 for one of their, because they have 3 different tiers of omakase where it's like, obviously, as you pay more, you're getting more sushi per meal, per person. But a $39 omakase option is fantastic. And it's amazing sushi.
Really, really great quality sushi at a more affordable price. And it also is a no tipping establishment, which really makes a difference when you're paying like 20% less for your meal just because you're not expected to tip. There's not even an option to tip. Like, that's not like, you don't have to tip here, but you can. Like, there's no tipping, which is really nice.
So check out Sugarfish. Pro tip, try to go during off hours because it can be very busy. They do not take reservations. So if you know you're in the area and you're wanting to go there, go in first, check, make sure what availability looks like, and then you might be able to, go somewhere else for 30 or 40 minutes and come back.
I highly recommend going for lunch. It's usually less busy during lunch, or if you're going to go for dinner, try to make it like an earlier dinner. This would be an awesome spot to go to if you were going to go to a Broadway show afterwards. Most Broadway shows start at 7 p.m., so if you have a nice dinner around 5 o'clock, that's when I would recommend going. Usually when we walk by around like 7 to 8 o'clock, there's usually a line out the door, which is deserving. This place is awesome, but if you don't want to wait in a line, go during their off hours.
All right, number 2 on our list is Quality Italian. Quality Italian, absolutely phenomenal spot. The restaurant itself is really cool because when you walk by, it doesn't look very big, but they have this, you walk upstairs, most of the seating is upstairs, and it is a massive seating area upstairs, and you're kind of a floor above. I think you're on 6th Avenue, and so you kind of get just this fun view of the happenings on 6th Avenue. An amazing spot. We had their whipped ricotta, which was absolutely amazing. You had what was it?
I had their lobster alla vodka pasta when I was there. It was the best alla vodka pasta I've ever had. It was like an entire lobster's amount of meat in the dish, which was awesome. And they actually lit it on fire before they gave it to me, which was really fancy and fun. I will mention that this is not like a casual restaurant. This is like a fine dining establishment. So make sure that you're not wearing a sweatshirt and shorts.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit. It's nicer. It's fancier. You wouldn't want to come underdressed.
Yeah. And a lot of the places we recommend are a little bit more casual. This one is like, I would dress up a little bit.
Yeah. Arguably, my favorite thing that we had at Quality Italian was their homemade sambuca. If you have not had sambuca, it's worth trying. It basically is like licorice flavored liqueur. It's Italian. Oh man, their homemade sambuca, it was just amazing. You have to try it if you go. Okay, that's Quality Italian. All right, 3rd on our list, Kin Ramen. We have talked about Kin Ramen before. It is a smaller ramen spot right in the heart of Upper Midtown, only a couple blocks from Central Park. They have delicious ramen, delicious appetizers, really fun cocktails, and I love the decor and just the overall vibe. You walk into Kin Ramen, and it feels like you are stepping into Ramen Street in actual Tokyo, Japan. We have been to Tokyo. They hit the ambiance and the feeling right on. Like, it's perfect.
Really cozy spot to go with people. When you go, we love to get the fried chicken appetizer. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I think it's karage. Not sure, but incredible fried chicken appetizer. And we love the Kin Ramen. I think, Devin, you normally get the spicy one, right?
Yeah, the spicy one's great flavor.
The food comes out very quickly. It's a good, quicker spot to get dinner.
Yeah. It can get busy, so again, if you can go during off hours, great. Also, pro tip, make sure you go to the bathroom while you're at Kin Ramen, because it is arguably the greatest bathroom in all of New York City. Maybe the world.
The world?
I've never been into a bathroom that has better decor than Kin Ramen.
What is it about the decor that speaks to you? I don't know if I really remember the bathroom.
Oh, it is it's like a scene out of like an anime movie. Like, it feels like you're in Tokyo, and it's like the paintings. It's amazing. Like, a little sidebar here. I genuinely think that when you put thought into your bathroom as a restaurateur, you are showing that you care, and that you care about the ambiance, and you care about the overall experience, because it's really easy to just have a basic bathroom that doesn't really match your decor, doesn't really match what you're doing. But when you go the extra mile, I don't know, it sounds weird, but it makes a difference, at least to me.
I get your point.
So that's
Similarly, at Sugarfish, they have 2 different hand soaps after you go to the bathroom. They have one before eating and one after, because they don't want
scented.
Yeah.
But again, they give thought to what's happening, because like we all go to the bathroom, and like the bathroom is part of the experience when you go to restaurants. And when people don't think about it, it can be like a detractor from the experience, or it can be a positive, like it is at Sugarfish Kin Ramen.
Speaking of the fact that we all go to the bathroom, let's just take it here. One of my rules that I give everyone that we're traveling around New York City with, or that comes to visit, or that we're mobbing around the city with, is you have to go to the bathroom where you already are.
Yeah.
So don't, like, if you're at a restaurant and you're like, oh, I kind of have to pee when we're all leaving, maybe I'll hold it. Like, just pee where you are. Because there are not really public bathrooms in New York City, and there is nothing worse than having one person in your group that has to pee, and they have to pee right away. And you're like, well, I don't know where to take you. Like, there's not
you basically
public
have
bathrooms
to
here.
like go to a bar or a restaurant and like buy an item, or hope that they're going to be nice enough to let you in. But a lot of them will not, because a lot of places in New York, they don't want people coming in and using their bathrooms.
That reminds me of that scene in Big Daddy where he's trying to take the kid to the bathroom, and the guy's like, no, customers only. And then they like
pee on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there is a lot of truth to that scene in Big Daddy. Okay, 4th on our list of our 4 favorite restaurants in Upper Midtown, Bengal Tiger. I believe we've talked about this one as well. It has changed locations since we have been going to it, but both of them are actually in this Upper Midtown area that we're talking about. Bengal Tiger is just a really great kind of no frills, authentic, delicious Indian restaurant with good staff. The food comes out quickly. The portions are fair, and their lunch special is amazing. I think it's $20, and you get, is it 20?
I think it's 25.
20 or 25, but you're getting an appetizer, a full entree, and a dessert, I believe, which is just a great deal generally, and they have that running at all times for lunch.
Bengal Tiger is just a solid spot for great Indian food. I've never had anything that was like mediocre there. Everything's always been great. Staff's really nice, really affordable. Highly recommend this spot if you like Indian food.
Especially their coconut naan. The first time I think I ever had coconut naan was at Bengal Tiger, and it's amazing. It's very unique, very good. So those are 4 of our favorite restaurants in Upper Midtown. We're going to talk about coffee shops. If you're in Upper Midtown, you're probably about to go to Central Park or to go to the MoMA, and you don't want to be tired. So we'll go through 4 of our favorite coffee spots. Number 1, Blue Bottle. Blue Bottle is a chain. There are multiple Blue Bottle establishments throughout the city. It's a really, really good cup of coffee, and I like the interior setup as well because it's just very minimal and very clean.
One of my favorite things to get when I go to Blue Bottle is the iced Nola coffee. It's like a slightly sweetened coffee with chicory-infused cold brew with milk. Highly recommend that one. Very yummy.
Another spot that we like for coffee in Midtown is Zebeto Espresso. It is a really small coffee counter on your way to Central Park, likely, and it's what the name sounds like. It's just a classic espresso bar.
It's a great spot if you just want to grab like a quick cappuccino on your way somewhere. They do have some outdoor seating, like kind of on the sidewalk in the like warmer months. But again, you can just go in. There's enough places to stand. They have homemade like Italian cookies and biscotti. Great spot.
Another coffee shop we like is Ground Central Coffee Company. So they have multiple locations in Upper Midtown and throughout New York City. Again, just a friendly spot. They have fun decor. They always have good music playing, and the coffee is delicious. 4th on our list, this one's kind of out of left field a little bit, and one that's very special to us specifically because it's just part of our daily routine. But it is a bodega on the corner of 56th and 7th Street called Flavor Taste, which is just a hilarious name.
Flavor Taste, I'm not going to lie, it's not the best cup of coffee you're ever going to have, but if you just want like a small coffee on your way to like walking through Central Park, I believe the small coffee with milk I get every morning when I'm taking my dog is like $1.99, which I don't know. If you're going to like another coffee spot, you're probably paying like $4 or $5 just for a basic cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It's always the same people that are working in there. I believe it's a family. I'm not positive on that. I should probably find that out. But they also have your classic bodega stuff. Like if you wanted to go in and get a chopped cheese, you could get a hamburger, you could get a grilled cheese, you could get an amazing bacon, egg, and cheese. Bodegas also have a lot of like drugstore items. So if you needed like some aspirin, or you needed a Gatorade, or you needed cream cheese, like they have a lot of like grocery store, drugstore items also in here as well if you needed some convenience store things.
So those are our top 4 coffee shops in Upper Midtown. And that leads us to this episode's You'll Have to Check It Out segment.
The next stop is
The Ribbon. All right, The Ribbon is not in Midtown, but we are including it in this episode because we went here recently and absolutely loved it. It is a cozy spot near Central Park West on the Upper West Side. So it kind of ties into this that if you're hanging around Midtown and then you want to walk through Central Park, you could walk up to The Ribbon. It's just on 72nd Street and Central Park West. The staff is friendly. There's plenty of TVs with sports on. And their best part is their happy hour. Their happy hour is every day from 4 to 7 p.m. It includes $7 to $13 bites, and then also a phenomenal drink options. $6 beer, $10 well drinks and wine, and even $12 specialty cocktails, including a delicious margarita, a phenomenal old-fashioned, and an absolutely underrated pineapple mule that I had that was so good every day from 4 to 7. But the best part, arguably of The Ribbon,
The chicken tenders.
the chicken tenders.
Really, really solid chicken tenders. Homemade blue cheese sauce, perfect crisp, perfect size. I don't know. Do the people know how much we love chicken tenders? I don't think we've talked about that.
Okay, so I'm a big connoisseur of chicken tenders, specifically that anytime you go to a concert or a music festival or a sporting event and you are, locked into that area and you are beholden to whatever food options they are giving you, without a doubt, the best value is always the chicken tenders. Reason being, it's usually fairly priced, even for, festival food or concert prices, that type of thing. It's usually a fair price. And you almost always get 3, sometimes 4 chicken tenders, which is a lot of food, and it always comes with fries. So when we're talking about value, flavor, it's hard to get chicken tenders wrong generally. And so it's just the best option. This is a total sidebar from like New York City specifically, but next time you're at a concert or at a sporting event, find the chicken tenders, best value.
Also, the chicken tenders usually come out faster than other things.
Yes, exactly, which matters.
I will add about the Ribbons chicken tenders, it's a step up from your classic chicken tender. It's not like your Tyson pre-frozen chicken tender. Like, these are made in-house. They have their own, maybe like panko breadcrumb mixture on the outside. Really solid. I will also say their margarita is amazing. They use real juices. It's not the pre-made like sour mix. Really solid margarita if you like a marg.
So that is this episode's You'll Have to Check It Out segment, The Ribbon on 72nd Street. And now back to an ode to Midtown.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Our 4 favorite bars in Upper Midtown. These probably aren't in a super particular order. Well, the 2 through 4 are not in a particular order. Okay, let's start with Faces and Names. Faces and Names, it is a classic happy hour spot. There are a lot of Midtown workers, corporate folk who come to Faces and Names, so it can get pretty crowded. Finance bros. In the evening. We love Faces and Names because they have good cocktails. It's a cozy bar. The staff is friendly. But they also have a great trivia setup every Tuesday night. So if you like playing trivia, Faces and Names has a good setup. They have a minimum per person. I think it's $20, but they do prizes for every single round. So I think there's usually 5-6 rounds. They do mini prizes for each round. And then the winner gets, I believe, $100 gift card.
I think it's a $50 gift card.
Okay. But still, if you win 1 or 2 rounds and happen to win the whole night, like you're coming out on top. Because the rounds, like if you win, you get like, it's either an appetizer or a round of beers for your table or a round of shots, a couple different options.
As far as food at Faces and Names, we love the mini tacos. I can't remember how many it comes with, but it's like 8 or 10 like really small, delicious tacos. The burgers are really solid. Probably my favorite appetizer there is the pretzel bites. Very, very good food. Nice atmosphere. Music, not too loud. It has like a little bit of everything. It has a huge draft list for beer. Lots of bottles and cans of beer as well. Great cocktails. A little bit of everything. Very solid spot.
Next on our list is Tanner Smith's. Tanner Smith's can get very, very crowded in the evenings, But outside of that, they are probably most well known for their bottomless brunch, which is $35 with the purchase of an entree, and you can have it for 90 minutes. And they're not, a lot of times when you go to brunch at places with bottomless brunch, they're kind of crappy cocktails that aren't actually really good, but that's not the case with Tanner Smith's.
Tanner Smith's has an amazing bottomless brunch. I've been there several times with friends. Really solid cocktails at Tanner Smith's. And they also come in like really cute glassware, which I appreciate. The last time I went, they gave me one of their great cocktails in like a bathtub shaped glass. I don't know why, but it was really cute.
Was that hard to drink out of a bathtub shaped glass?
Slightly.
Okay.
Especially because I was on like drink 4 in 90 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
They also sometimes give you the drink in like a really cute little teacup. The food here is awesome, but truly like every cocktail I've had, even outside of the bottomless brunch cocktails, have been really, really solid here.
Next on our list, Haswell Greens. So Haswell Greens is a great bar in Midtown. I'm a little bit biased. It is the Cleveland Browns supporters bar. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, so we go to Haswell Greens pretty frequently during the NFL season. Even outside of that, we have been, and it is great. They have, so the downstairs is kind of like the standard bar, and then the upstairs, it's more of like, they have 2 different bar sections up there with kind of different themes, and there's often a live DJ. The drinks are phenomenal. And it's got a lot of cool kind of art and history on the wall. Haswell Greens, it's actually named after Andrew Haswell Green, who was an influential city planner for New York City. He was actually behind so many things in New York. He played a role in Central Park, the New York Public Library, the Bronx Zoo, the American Museum of Natural History, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and also participated in projects like Riverside Drive, Morningside Park, Fort Washington Park, and protecting the Hudson River Palisades from destruction. So Andrew Haswell Green, an iconic figure in New York City. The bar that they've chosen to name after him, also a very, very solid option.
Haswell Greens, again, has great cocktails, reasonably priced, made really well. They also have a huge beer selection. Every time we've been to Haswell Greens, I've been pleasantly surprised at how much I liked it. Also, their food's great. I love their French fries. They also have good chicken tenders.
I think we've had their burger as well. Right?
Yes, we've had their burger.
And their nachos.
Ooh, their
nachos
chips
good.
and guacamole is also great.
Yes.
Highly recommend that. But great spot if you want to drink before or after a Broadway show, or you're just walking around Midtown, want a good cozy spot. Highly recommend. They also have live music.
I think most nights, if not every night of the week, they have some type of live music, whether it's a DJ or a band or someone playing guitar, that type of thing. So worth checking out. Okay, number 1 on our list. This is technically not in Midtown. It's on the other side of 8th Avenue, but we're including it because it's so far north that it kind of is a Midtown feel, and you don't quite feel like you're in Hell's Kitchen yet.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of had to push Devin on including this just because it's close enough to Midtown, and this is arguably our favorite neighborhood bar that we go to, Valhalla. We've talked about this before on other podcasts, but Valhalla is probably one of our favorite like beer bars that we go to. Their draft list is very extensive. They're always bringing in new things. The staff is incredibly nice. They'll let you try a beer if you're unsure of what you want. They always have sports on. They don't usually have the sound on if like you want to like watch a big game and you want to hear like the commentators, but they do always have the major games on.
And they also have mead, which is a honey-based kind of sweet. I guess it's between a beer and a liquor. But mead, super, super great. And yeah, we love Valhalla. It is always a good time. They do have different specials, so you just have to check on their website and see. But that is Valhalla. That rounds out our top 4 bars in Upper Midtown. And the last category that we are going to cover for you in our ode to Midtown is our top 4 places to shop. Okay. Number 1, right off the bat, is Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue is famous for a lot of reasons. One of it being that upper part of Fifth Avenue has so many shops. A lot of them are like very fancy high-end shops. There's the flagship Tiffany store. There is an Armani.
There's Gucci, there's Louis Vuitton, there's Harry Winston. Like they have some very fancy stores. The Chanel store is right there. But they also have like an Abercrombie and Fitch. They have a Zara. They have a Uniqlo. Like they have more like typical everyday stores as well.
Yeah, there's a ton of shopping there. We kind of included Rockefeller Center as part of this. Rockefeller Center is its own kind of area, but some of the, like the Lego store that's famous, the Nintendo store, like those kind of butt up right against Fifth Avenue. So Fifth Avenue, Rockefeller Center, tons and tons of good shopping with a huge variety. Number 2 on our list is the Nordstrom in Upper Midtown. It is on Billionaires Row. If you're not familiar with Billionaires Row, it's some of those massive skyscrapers that are newer, that are really close to Central Park. One of the massive Billionaires Row skyscrapers, the entrance to it is actually right next to this Nordstrom that is, 3 or 4 stories tall. There's the women's section is in one side of the street, and then the men's section is on the other side of the street. Like, it is a huge conglomerate of buildings all there that are all Nordstrom, and it is huge.
Yeah, I believe the women's store is 5 or 6 floors. It's absolutely massive. They have everything that you could want there. And like Devin mentioned, if you're looking for the men's stuff, it is on the opposite side of the street, and the buildings don't connect. So if you're shopping with your partner,
it can be confusing.
Great Nordstrom, one-stop shop for anything you might need.
Next on our list of places to shop in Upper Midtown, Columbus Circle. So Columbus Circle, there is the shops at Columbus Circle, and there's also down beneath there is the Turnstile Market. The Turnstile Market has different, it's more food-centric, but they do have some kind of fun little shops. They have a little dog store, and there's a anime store. Yeah, bookstore. And then the shops at Columbus Circle themselves have a lot of your standard. They have Lululemon. They have a Williams-Sonoma. They have a Joe Malone.
They have a J. Crew. They have an H&M. They have a running store. So more of like a typical mall.
Yeah, but a good variety of stores there. And again, it's right next to Central Park, so it's a convenient spot to go. Also, public restrooms if you're needing them. Last but definitely not least is the TJ Maxx on 57th Street and 8th Avenue. I love TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx is probably one of my favorite stores because I don't like to pay top dollar prices for pretty much anything, especially clothes and shoes and candles. TJ Maxx, if you're not awoken to this, if you have not become enlightened, TJ Maxx has an amazing candle selection that are way cheaper than candles anywhere else. You can get the big massive candles that have 30 hours of burn time for $14 sometimes. Love TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx also has great dog toys. If you have a furry friend at home and you want to get them a souvenir from New York City.
Yes.
They have awesome branded clothing. They have home supplies. I mean, I don't know if we have to explain TJ Maxx to the people. They surely know.
But if you don't, if you're listening and you're not from America, I would go to TJ Maxx just to experience it.
Yeah.
Because it's way cheaper. And a lot of times, too, they'll have, branded sports stuff. You might be able to find, a Yankees hat or a Yankees shirt or a Knicks shirt. Not all the time, but sometimes you can. And it's going to be way cheaper than getting it elsewhere. All right, that was our ode to Midtown. We love Midtown. We think Midtown is a phenomenal place. Certainly it has its drawbacks, but there's so much to see and do. There are amazing restaurants. There are amazing bars. Obviously, there are some tourist traps, and there are places that are very expensive and that aren't actually really good. But everything we've told you today is worth your time, worth your money, worth going to. If you have not already, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. We email once a week with fun facts and history about New York City, tips for getting around and exploring the city, places you need to check out, current events and news, upcoming events that you may want to check out if you're going to be in New York that upcoming week. And as a newsletter subscriber, you get free access to the Ultimate NYC navigation guide and our curated list of Google Maps lists covering topics ranging from the best bars and drinks to our Upper West Side guide to the best coffee shops, all the different things that you get completely for free. So make sure you are signed up for that. And other than that, we'll catch you on the next episode.
This is the last stop on this train. Everyone, please leave the train. Thank you for riding with